Jessica thinks Zaz is a liar. Zaz thinks LeBron is a liar. We'll get to the lies in a second, but I just want to tell you guys a quick story I heard Sean Penn tell the other day. A funny story. As he was training for the movie Cops, Sean Penn was going out on, he was going out on drives with officers. He was training. He actually ends up in a drug bust where he's doing some of the things that he's learned, where he's got a gun out. He's got it on his hand.
What is that you're doing?
I think it's like this.
You're talking about having the flashlight and the gun so like people can see, so
yes,
you can see stuff,
yes,
right?
That's what I'm doing. I'm
Okay.
doing the
Just making sure.
flashlight and the gun, and he's been trained to also do the quick peek around a corner, and it's a quick peek, and if you see a gun, you shout gun, but the way that you can do the quick peek, nobody's reflexes are fast enough to shoot somebody who's doing a quick peek. So
we're talking about childhood friend of Charlie Sheen, Sean Penn?
Sean Penn, yes.
Okay, got it.
Sean Penn is training for the movie Cops, and they've got 5 drug dealers who are on the sidewalk on their knees, and the other cop hears Sean Penn shout, gun, after the quick peek. And so they bring in reinforcement. There's a helicopter, everything else, and Sean Penn is terrified. And then he realizes on his second quick peek, it was his reflection.
Yeah.
He was seeing his own gun in the reflection, and all of the other cops were making fun of him because they were brought in by helicopter and everything else just because he shouted gun at his own gun.
Amateur.
We all would have done much better in that spot,
That's
I'm
right.
sure. Jess, thank you for joining us. Why is Zaslow a liar? What are the specifics of his story that do not ring true, that he had a 2-stop flight or a 1-stop flight?
Oh, it was 1 stop.
A first-class flight to South Bend that stopped in Chicago that he thought was a plane on the second leg and was a bus on the second leg.
I listened to this story yesterday and I was like, there's just no way. I have never heard of this happening. I have never heard of this in my life. There is no way that he did this. I just don't believe it. And I was about to text him and tell him what a liar he was. And then I decided, you know what? Let me just Google this first. Sure enough, American Airlines started this service 3 weeks ago. You're one of the first ever customers.
Congratulations.
To take this motor coach from. But
Thank you.
I mean, I was listening to this.
Wow.
And my first thought was, there's no way he left from an actual gate at O'Hare. There's no way he left from inside the terminal.
Jess,
Like,
and pulled up to a
Terminal 2.
terminal in South Bend.
It's unbelievable that this happened. I don't believe for
That's
a
a
second
hilarious
that you,
detail.
Vindicated.
They dropped
that
you
you
off at the
could've-
South Bend airport.
Yes, at the terminal. I
unbelievable.
arrived at the gate in South Bend.
Zaz, I asked so many people who go to Notre Dame games for work on a regular basis, former students. I said, have you ever heard of this before? They all said no. There's just no way. And I said, how did he book this without knowing that it was a bus on the second leg? And they said, well, to be honest, that part is believable from everything you've said about this guy. So credit to you, Zaz.
Whoa, okay.
For making the story more believable.
First of all-
I said he's like a Miami sports radio guy. They're like, oh, I guess, yeah, makes sense.
First of all, whoa. Second of all, I pull up, I could actually do it. I still have the boarding pass, and on the boarding pass, yep, that was exactly the bus. And on the boarding pass, there is a symbol of a plane, not of a bus, of an airplane. It's isn't that false advertising, Dan?
Zaz, did you see what it was written on the door?
Landline.
It literally says operated by landline.
I know. That's the new service. It's called, and it says American Airlines. Jess, here's the thing. Why was I seemingly the only one confused when I was walking onto the shuttle bus? Everyone is going to their assigned seats, and I'm literally saying, who the hell cares about an assigned seat? We're taking a shuttle. It's going to be 30 seconds to our plane. I was the only one who apparently had no idea.
I'm sorry, this is genuinely one of the funniest travel stories that I've ever heard. I kept waiting for it to be like, oh, and then we went to the plane, and it was a small plane, oh, but no, like, you went all the way to South Bend Airport. I think it's so funny. It's probably one of the least efficient ways to get to South Bend,
Well,
too,
it certainly is if they don't take you to a bus station, and for some reason they then take you again to another airline gate in the bus.
I mean, I guess so you can, like, rent a car. I read about this, and there's they're doing this at a few smaller regional airports now, including there's like an O'Hare connection that goes from O'Hare to Rockford, which is like a really big city outside of Chicago and Illinois. There are a few, if you fly into Philadelphia, they'll take you to smaller cities inside Pennsylvania. So I understand like the gist of it. It makes sense if you don't want to rent your own car at O'Hare and drive yourself there, or if you don't want to, I guess, just get on another plane because the flight from O'Hare to South
No,
Bend
I do. I want to
around
get on another
25
plane.
minutes.
I really do.
Yeah,
I don't get
just,
surprising, folks.
It's amazing. It's
Dan,
amazing to me.
Dan, here's my boarding pass. I still have it. Chicago, South Bend. Is that a symbol of an airplane or a bus?
Put it on
know
the
if Dan's
poll
the right person
at
to ask this.
LeBatard Show because I don't know the difference between an airplane and a bus. At LeBatard Show, put it on the poll. Have you ever bought a flight and ended up on a bus?
Dan's like, this is not a first class ticket. I cannot read this.
Zaz,
I got where you were going, Chris.
the only way your story could have been funnier is if the guy next to you was selling shower curtain rings.
The problem, or one of the problems with Zaslow's story is that is a first class flight. He is, that is, you just can't end up on a bus when you've got a first class flight. That doesn't make any sense.
There was no in-flight service either. If you were, there was no like what
No
they
pretzels,
used. They used to
nothing.
call
That's
them
a killer.
stewardess. What is it now?
Attendant, flight attendant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flight attendant.
Did your
No,
tray have to be
They
in the
still love
upright
money,
position?
though.
Was Ralph Cramden driving the bus?
Reference, I got it.
I mean that
Is
bus
that
driver.
Is that online? They
That's
have
a honey.
Wi-Fi
That's a
and
honeymooners
outlets.
reference.
That bus driver.
No, that's not a no. Just because you don't get the reference doesn't mean it's a bad. I got it.
But
Thank
it's
you.
1950s bus driver on television, Jackie Gleason joke.
And it was rebooted with Cedric the Entertainer in 2005.
Ralph Cramden, not Jackie Gleason.
He's right.
He's not
lost.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackie
Ralph Cramden
Gleason
was the bus driver.
played Ralph Cramden in The Honeymooners, a television show that ran from when to when so that we can just have live back in my days with him talking about the origins of television.
Dan, I'm not sure you're
Roy.
familiar with how acting works. See, the actor isn't actually a bus driver. He's portraying a character who is the bus driver. So Ralph Cramden is the answer there. Jackie Gleason was just a guy who worked there.
Originally aired from 55 to 56.
Well, originally, but it went into the 60s.
Syndication.
Jessica, college football and all things college football are something that it's an area of expertise for you. But I wanted to talk about what happened with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton before we get into the meat of the college football talk. It hasn't been often that Russell Wilson calls someone classless in public. I think a lot of people sided with Russell Wilson on this one. Rare win for Russell Wilson publicly.
Oh, absolutely. Ever since that stupid Netflix movie with Kevin James as Sean Payton, Dan, I've been like, how are we just brushing past this whole... What? I mean, it was a ridiculous movie.
Of course it was ridiculous. I said, what are we doing?
Okay, I'm glad we're in agreement. I mean, it's just absurd for Sean Payton to take shots at Russell Wilson, who's like no one's favorite quarterback at this point, but absolutely justified in going after him on Twitter. And the "Let's Ride" at the end was a perfect comedic chef's kiss of a retort from Russ. So yeah, I'm team Russell Wilson. That was just mean. Like, what's the point of that?
I happen to have heard from a singular person and not verified with someone else that Russell Wilson bought a premium luxury box for that game, thinking that it was going to be his triumphant return to beat Sean Payton, and then he got benched and couldn't flip the luxury box.
John Elway told you that?
So what is that? I happen to have heard is
I
different.
happen to have heard a little
know?
piece of gossip that I wasn't
We
able
need a
to
new
verify
source.
with,
person,
multiple,
though.
with multiple sources from a singular person, but I do trust this source that told me Russell Wilson had an entire box and then, after being benched, tried to sell the box and found no takers.
I don't trust his source.
Wow. Happen to know is two sources. Happen to have heard from a single source is a less, it's a diluted form of reporting.
That's why it doesn't have imaging.
Untrustworthy source, I would say.
The Notre Dame USC game that you were at, Jessica, you felt you were not at it? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was in New York watching it, just biting my nails the whole time. It was terrifying, but it was so fun, exhilarating, I would say.
And your thoughts now on USC's, Notre Dame's remaining schedule?
I think that they're going to be favored by a lot of points in all the remaining games. And so if they lose a game, it would be a tremendous disappointment. And if they win out, they will probably be in the college football playoff. Even though Miami not holding up their end of the bargain last weekend, Dan. But we'll see. We'll see how Miami's end of their season shakes out, too, because they don't have that many more difficult games on their schedule either.
Yeah, you can't take those for granted in today's college football era to say, well, they're going to be a big favorite for all of them. In fact, Marcus Freeman's lost plenty of big games as a big-time favorite, but that was the toughest schedule.
He's lost more of those games than he has, like, the ranked games, I would say. That's like, but to be fair, a couple of them, the Marshall game and the NIU game were both, like, season home openers early in the season. These teams under him have tended to get better throughout the year. I think the only issue now is once you get into November now, you have way more players getting hurt, but that's across all of college football.
It doesn't matter, though, what Miami does. Like, yeah, Miami lost, so maybe the win, or the loss to Miami doesn't mean as much for Notre Dame, but Notre Dame just wins the rest of their games they're in. And if they lose a game, then they're out. Like, it doesn't really matter. Right?
As just highlighted, they lost to NIU. So if Miami loses the rest of their games, it won't necessarily stack up to even that loss. And it didn't end up mattering because Notre Dame went all the way to the college football playoff final.
Yeah.
Where are you, Jessica, on Mike's contention that Notre Dame fans don't like hearing very much that the Notre Dame job might be a stepping stone job for Marcus Freeman?
Well, that's how they're processing it. I'm not applying that. Like they can.
I don't think that's true.
I'm not applying that, even though it happened with Brian Kelly, where he left them for an SEC, and I understand why fan bases get bothered, especially a program so tradition rich like Notre Dame and a team that literally just competed for a national title. I find it flattering that the NFL is interested in Marcus Freeman, that the Florida Gators and Penn State, two big programs, our dream number one candidate is Marcus Freeman. What Diana said is right, by the way. When we had Diana earlier, Jess, and we asked her specifically about the Chicago Bears' interest, is Marcus Freeman's a bit different than all these other coaches that are a little dirtier when it comes to these things. He is about his team when he is with his team. If they are in it, and the problem last year with the Bears was Marcus Freeman kept winning in the college football playoff, and he was like, keep that away. It does, although it work in line with what I'm hearing, that if Notre Dame does lose another game this season, if that happens to happen, then it's kind of a green light for his agents to take some of these conversations a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not plugged into that world. This is just a lot of it is also posturing to get raises. So I mean, I hope he doesn't leave Notre Dame, but we'll see. I don't know what you want me to say.
Jessica, I have a question for you. I asked this earlier. No one on the show could answer me. If Notre Dame needs to pony up extra money to keep Marcus Freeman, can they call the Pope and the Vatican and say, open up the coffers?
Well, I think he went to Villanova, so I'm not sure. And there's a different Catholic orders running both schools, so I would say it's a maybe. But if that's something that they have to do, like maybe Pope Leo's open to it.
He's a Chicago guy, isn't he?
It does lead to a legitimate question, which is Brian Kelly presumably left for a couple of different reasons, but also he did get a raise in leaving to LSU, and money could have been one of the answers as to why on earth would he leave Notre Dame when he had so much success there.
I think that is the main reason that he left. I think Notre Dame did not want to pay Brian Kelly. This is just me guessing. I'm not reporting this. I think that Notre Dame had a long and very successful relationship with Brian Kelly that came with a lot of things that, some tough losing seasons, embarrassing things, him screaming on the sidelines, him not ever getting the team to the place where they could beat in Alabama or Georgia. Obviously, it's a different era of college football now, and I think Marcus Freeman coming in when he did is much better position to beat those teams. I think there's way more parity in college football now. I think a lot of the advanced analytics bear that out. And I would say most importantly, the school is more aligned with athletics now than they were when Brian Kelly was the coach. I think they're more committed to actually helping the football team do things to win games without, obviously sacrificing their identity, et cetera, et cetera. That's what Notre Dame would tell you. But I think that it's sort of hard to compare apples to apples because I have seen a much bigger commitment from the school with Marcus Freeman and trying to make him successful than they ever kind of were with Brian Kelly.
So, I guess the really fishing question for me is if it gets to the point where schools are offering and think they have a legitimate shot at getting Marcus Freeman for $15 million, will Notre Dame climb up to that salary, make him the highest paid coach in the sport to keep him?
And if they call the Pope, will he open the coffers?
I don't know. I mean, Mike, who knows? I don't know. Maybe, yes. I mean, they signed him to a huge extension last year. Clearly, you don't want to see him go, but also.
Oh my God, who knows?
I mean, if you were asking me to speculate on like Notre Dame's financial acumen in this situation, like I think they have the money to do that. Obviously, it doesn't mean they have the appetite to pay someone that much money. And I think a lot of these college coaching contracts are a little bit absurd. If you're talking about coaches getting $100 million buyouts to stick around in 10 years, and we have absolutely no idea what college football is going to look like in 10 years. But also, Marcus Freeman's current contract is not public. Speculated that he's paid among the 3 highest paid coaches in college football. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Speaking of money, what did you make of the Holiday Bowl exploring the idea of a college football bowl game in Saudi Arabia?
Ah, come on.
Oh, man. This was one of those things that came out of some of the public records requests, I believe, from North Carolina. And from my reading on the topic, the Holiday Bowl has a bit of a financial strain because of the 2 games being canceled in 2020 and 2021 because of COVID. So they are looking to recoup some of that and be a bowl that can offer a higher payout to teams and would get more money if they did play in Saudi Arabia. It sounds like the ACC pretty quickly shut it down, but they were exploring that. The other part of it that's sort of funny is that the Holiday Bowl gets money from the city of San Diego because it has an obvious big economic impact on the city when they host the bowl game. And so if that were to be the case, if they were to move the game, they would have to give that money back, of course. It's not really that much money in the grand scheme of things, but it is to sort of demonstrate like the financial situation of a lot of these bowl games that have become a lot less prestigious now that there's 12 teams in the playoff. And, you know, the Holiday Bowl used to be a game that was 2 of the better bowl eligible teams would play and had a lot of good ratings in that bowl game. It was one of the higher tier, like premium tier bowls.
Really?
And yeah, yes, Greg, really.
I don't remember that.
I mean, it's not like, I mean,
Holiday
it's yeah, the one in San Diego. I mean,
the
it's
Arbor
not like
Day
it's
of holidays.
It's not a New Year's Six Bowl, obviously, but it's also not like, you know, the Bahamas Bowl or one of these other smaller team bowls. It'd usually be like 2, I think Pac-12 and ACC are the 2 teams in the Holiday Bowl. Anyways, I digress. I think the point is that this kind of demonstrates the financial strain on a lot of these bowls in the 12-team playoff era. And I never, ever want to see these bowl games go away. I would be devastated if we didn't have a full bowl slate in the postseason, but I understand that things are different now. Things are changing pretty rapidly.
Texas Tech has a ridiculous controversy going on. They have the tortilla throw, which is adorable. We celebrated earlier this year with the Hamptons Farm Nuttiest fan. But apparently the Big 12 wants them to stop. They're going to threaten penalties. Texas Tech having one of their best seasons in a long time. Their head coach, we're about to play this sound, gave a way too serious press conference about tortillas.
This is Kirby Hocutt, their AD.
The stakes are too high, and we need to help, not risk penalizing our team again for throwing tortillas. Simply, let's not do it. The situation is on me. I leaned into this of throwing tortillas at the beginning of the football season. Now I must ask everyone to stop, and I must ask our staff to enforce it on game days.
I don't know why I think that's funny.
Why is his hair so dark?
How did he lean into it? Like, what did he do?
Well, he's reading also.
I think earlier in the year he was pushing back on the Big 12. Be like, how can he had
yeah.
the interaction with the coach where he's like, what do you want me to do? That was the coach.
I think he was the only Big 12 athletic director to vote no on penalizing the tortilla tossing in the offseason, which he did like as a stand, like, I want to protect this tradition. But yeah, now that the Big 12 decided there's going to be 15-yard penalties if you throw stuff on the field, the situation has continuously escalated since the Kansas game a couple weeks ago, which we talked about last week. There was an alleged pocket knife being thrown, which now very clearly was not thrown by fans. They believe that it was dropped by a Kansas coach on the sideline. But still, the fines have continued to escalate, and so now the athletic director's like, no one can do this anymore. I imagine there will be more tortillas than ever thrown this upcoming weekend. But I also thought it was funny because, Chris, to your point about like the seriousness of it, I read in The Athletic that they're offering to let people discard their tortillas at the game by giving them to like officials who can dispose of them. So it's like, I guess you smuggle the tortilla in your pants. That's what people do.
Whoa.
And then you get there and you have second thoughts and you're like, yeah, I shouldn't do this. I don't want to get ejected or banned from athletic department events. So I'm going to take the tortilla out of my pants and hand it to an usher. And
Nice
they'll
and
throw it away
warm.
for me. Like the visual of that is very absurd to me.
I do love a microwave tortilla.
You
I was
okay?
gonna say I do love a microphone cough.
Cody's gotten away from the cough button. The cough got him so much that he let his.
I
Let me
mean,
back up.
Tortillas.
Oh, we didn't hear it.
Is that a tortilla in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? What a waste of food, by the way. What a
Is that a
waste
tortilla
of food.
in your pocket, or are you not happy to see me?
Right.
There, yeah, that's a good point by
A
Jess.
soggy, damp tortilla in your pocket.
Yeah.
Wide and
You offer
flat.
that to the food bank. Food bank goes, no thanks, we're not that hungry.
Is there a food that you'd prefer to see thrown at stadiums?
I don't like the idea of wasting food like that. You know,
I
people
agree,
are
Greg.
starving all over my
There we
neighborhood.
go.
I would give the
All over
food
your
to
neighborhood.
the
I
stray
doubt that.
cats in my neighborhood.
Aw.
What?
Yeah, we have stray cats problem in our neighborhood.
Some lady in my dad's neighborhood collected all the stray cats and had them fixed
Yeah, against their will.
Aw.
But you do
against
it.
their will.
You do it for the
Do you think the
species.
spay or the neuter is sometimes with the will of the animal?
Oh yeah. Well, you ask the animal, and if they don't answer you, you go ahead.
And they
with
say
it.
meow.
If they
Remember-
say no,
Remember the,
Charlie?
remember the no comment that the lion gave us
Exactly.
earlier
Thank you.
when we were talking about it.
Thank you very much. By the way, a quick comment. I respect Amin trying to get a serious answer about the Vatican contributing to NIL
Yeah.
and buyouts and
too.
stuff like that. If Notre Dame has an opening, why doesn't the Pope coach Notre Dame? Because I picture him on the sideline in full regalia with the big pointed hat, the whole bit. It would be a great draw, great television draw. Fans would love it. What's he doing in the Vatican? I don't think
Now
the
you're
Pope-
asking the right questions.
I don't think the Pope works real hard. I think he's got time to coach a football team.
What's in the coffers?
Greg, imagine the endowment growth if the Pope was the head coach.
Yes.
The boosters would come out of the woodwork. Every Catholic in the
mean,
world.
I don't think you guys really are that plugged into the ongoing. I don't want to use the word schism here, but the ongoing disagreements that a lot of Catholics have over the last two popes. It may be very alienating. The Pope should, I mean, well, I don't want to get into too much here about.
Go on.
You've already said too
but
much. You've already
I
said
would
too much.
say, as Catholics, you're supposed to be like, yes, the Pope. What the Pope says, that is what we believe to be true. And a lot of Catholics lately have been like, well, the Pope's being a lib, so we don't like him, actually. The whole thing about like feeding the poor, we believe to be optional. So I don't know, maybe you guys should just not be Catholic anymore. Because when I grew up, the reason that I have Catholic guilt is because of the things that I was taught about, like Catholic social teaching and like helping people in need, treating your neighbor as thyself. But those things don't seem to be important to a lot of Catholics right now.
Jessica, I
So
care.
that would be quite controversial.
Jessica, I care about you. You're talking right now like a character in a Dan Brown book who's going to get killed very soon.
Wait, Amin! Oh my God, this Louvre heist of the jewels. Did you not
Oh,
think
yeah.
immediately of the Da Vinci Code? Of
course.
It was so good.
The first thing I thought about was Rudy Gobert not being able to guard the high pick and roll. But then, then I thought about Dan Brown, and I realized that it wasn't a Dan Brown story because there wasn't enough misogyny in it.
Oh, that's such a good point. You're right.
Surely you and Mean have connected over Adam McKay's project, The Chair Company, right?
We have, Dan, and don't call me Shirley.
Amin, did you watch episode 2?
I am all the way caught up.
That was good.
So,
So
Tim
Leslie
Robinson-
Nielsen does it, and it's okay? Is that what it is?
Who's
then?
good?
Yeah, I love the old references that I actually understand. The thing about Tim Robinson shows, like I Think You Should Leave and Detroiters, is I feel like I can't recommend them to everybody. I feel like I have to know you well enough to know if you're gonna like really think it's funny or not. And I feel that way about The Chair Company. I've been very reserved in recommending it to people because I know that there's a lot of people that will watch that show and say this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but I'm sitting there watching it and I am laughing so hard at it. I think it is so funny. It is a Tim Robinson scripted series on HBO Max or HBO. I think we call it. Do we call it HBO? I don't
It's
know. what we
HBO
call it.
Max.
HBO Max. Okay, cool. It's a mystery, but it's also a comedy. There's perfect amounts of goof and also intrigue in it. And Tim Robinson sort of playing the same character he always plays, but just with more, I think with more depth than in some of his skits.
Oh, Jessica, the interesting thing about this, as opposed to his prior shows, is it's shot like a thriller suspense show.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
shot, even. I'm not just talking
It's not like
about
a sitcom.
It's
Yeah.
not a sitcom. It's down to the music, down to the camera angles and the shots. It's all shot like a whodunit, basically. So if you're not paying attention or if you didn't know anything about him, you go in and you're like, why is this such a silly show? Why are they acting silly? Am I supposed to laugh here or not? But if you know, Tim Robinson's hilarious and it's very funny. The other funny thing is, I thought the name, the chair company, was going to be like an analogy to something or a metaphor, and it turns out to be very literally about a chair company. Not the one that he works at. He makes malls, which, by the way, Jessica, when's the last time you were at a mall?
It's been a really long time since I've been in a mall.
I think you've been in a mall. You just probably didn't realize it.
Mall goer.
I don't think I've been in a mall.
No, you've
for
been in a mall.
really
You just didn't
long
realize
time.
it, probably. That's because they don't look like malls anymore.
Is this a mall? Am I in a mall right now?
I think you're in a mall right now.
The restaurant is a mall. Zaz was creeped out. Zaz was creeped out by Friendship, the Tim Robinson movie. He's made anxious by the awkward comedy. Really, it's just Robinson and Nathan Fielder who are doing this incredibly awkward comedy.
I mean, I watched Friendship on my plane ride to Europe, a week and a half ago, and 5 minutes in, I'd never seen any of Tim Robinson's stuff, but I know the shtick. And it is my kind of humor. But 5 minutes into the movie, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get through it. Because I get very bad secondhand embarrassment. And there were times in that movie, Friendship, where I thought I was going to have to hit the pause button and just go walk up and down the aisle and cool off.
Oh, man, I got to see that with my good friend Michael Ryan right here, who got me advanced screening passes to it. And it was, Mike, it was such a great environment to watch with people. I don't know.
It's a good movie.
If you had watched it with people as opposed to by
Maybe that's
yourself on the
why,
flight.
because I watched it alone in my living room, and I was just like, okay, I kind of know what they're trying to do here.
No,
It was just
I
awkward.
enjoyed the movie. It's just like I was very uncomfortable.
Sharing in the awkwardness with others, though, is an experience, which is why we need to bring R-rated comedies back, Jack.
I do want to, speaking of awkwardness, I do have an awkward confession I need to make to Jessica. Jessica, we've been texting for a couple of months now. We talked about Lethal Weapon. We talked about, you're excited about this show. I'm like, oh, I love it. And up until this morning, I had no idea that was you and you had changed your number.
I texted you over the summer, and I was like, this is my new number.
I kept looking for context clues, and I couldn't find them. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep having this conversation as if I know who I'm talking
Wait,
to.
so what gave it away this morning?
So Amin was asking me, look, I keep getting a message from this number, and I have no idea. I'm like, read me the number. Maybe I have them in my
Go ahead,
in my
read it.
contact
What
list.
is it, Mike?
And then he started rattling it off. I'm like, this has been Jess the whole time, and he had no idea. He thought you were pissed off at him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I've been texting you on your old number, and I'm like,
Oh my
she's not.
God.
They're green bubbles. I think she's blocked me.
Jesus. I mean, first of all, I want to know what gave it away. Was it when I was like, hey, Hard Rock's not even that awesome? They're just like
That narrowed it down. I was like, okay, hold on
smelling
now.
around farts
Hold on.
on Hard Rock Stadium. Like, oh, it's a sports mecca. It's in the middle of nowhere.
It is a dump.
Easy, South Bend.
They had plastic in the nachos that we got.
There's
at the
plastic
Orange
everywhere.
Bowl.
There's plastic in people's balls.
Exactly right.
No, those are microplastics. This was a macroplastic.
Oh,
This is the kind of plastic you have to get removed by a surgeon because it's lodged into your
Probably better,
colon.
right, than the micro? 'Cause
That's
you
why I
can
lost
see it.
$6 on the valuation.
No extra charge.
Put
I
it
don't
on
think
the
scientists are sure like what the microplastics are doing yet. So I would still.
I can
probably
guarantee they're
prefer
not
the
good because
micro.
they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah,
I can
Says who?
guarantee
probably.
that.
Says
Probably
who?
the
Says
case.
me.
I don't know
Guaranteed
about
by
that.
Tony.
I can guarantee microplastics in my balls, bad.
I think they're great.
Ivermectin.
Can we do Tony's top 5 like health related?
We could. It'd be a great
Opinions?
list.
check out her weekly Notre
Once
Dame
the
podcast,
Democratic shutdown stops.
Finally, the guy.
The Echoes with Mike Golick Jr. Again, weekly Notre Dame podcast. Jessica, thank you.
Bye.
I wanted to get to the LeBron story that took us a half hour to get to the LeBron story where Zaz thinks LeBron's a liar
I know he
after
is.
being called a liar by Jessica. And I guess Jessica has now walked that back. You have proven to her because you're credible and a journalist and a lawyer and a judge.
And a race war expert.
You have once again proven to be someone who is credible. Your story was true. Are you reporting something on LeBron, or do you have an opinion about LeBron lying?
I have an opinion. I have an opinion which I think is correct. All right, Dan, he's in world-class shape, this guy. All right, he spends millions of dollars on his body every year, on fitness. He spends millions of dollars. He doesn't have an injury keeping him out of games till mid-November, apparently, which then they're going to reevaluate, okay? He has an injury that your grandmother has, all right? Like, I don't care that he's 41 years old, 42 years world-class shape.
Sciatica stinks.
I'm sure it does.
Sciatica hurts.
When you're a grandma, okay? There is no way. This is straight out of the LeBron playbook is what this is. Like last night, the Lakers losing, even though Luka looked awesome.
By the way,
Oh my God.
MVP season loading for him.
Right now, Luka's got to be at the front of the MVP conversation. Okay, right now.
Hold on.
Says to lose.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, Luka, he's at the top of the MVP conversation. LeBron, this is straight out his playbook. He loves that loss last night. LeBron would love more losses because then, look who you need to return and save the day.
What are you alleging here? Are you alleging he's withholding services?
Yeah, I'm alleging super passive-aggressive behavior.
Hold on.
That's right.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
Oh, you don't want me? You're not centering the team around me anymore? I'm not the number one guy. You don't want to give me a multi-year deal? Okay, let's see what we look like when I have to be reevaluated a month and a half into the season with an injury that your grandmother has. Get out of here. It's straight out the LeBron James playbook.
I'm not going to go as far as to say he's faking the injury. As someone who's dealt with back issues for years, it happens. It doesn't matter how much you do. Not like I do a lot, but still. But I will agree with you on this. Inside, he's not going to admit it, but inside he's like, yes,
Definitely.
crumble without me.
Didn't you have gout?
Yeah. I'm not in world-class shape.
That's
true.
an old person element as
Drinker
well.
body.
I'm not LeBron.
We know this.
I don't
Same hairline.
I don't spend millions of dollars on my body every year. He has sciatica, and he's going to be reevaluated in a month?
That's weird. That's weird. You'd think that, number one, if you were younger, you probably wouldn't have it, but you'd probably be more incentivized to play. This could also be a low-key thing that he gets on the same page with the front office. Hey, let's wait and see. This is kind of like player maintenance a little bit, potentially, no?
Hold on, I just remembered something. So Steve Nash had sciatica, right? That was why Steve Nash, when he'd be on the bench, he'd be lying on his back. Seems like LeBron sitting on the bench, probably not a good thing for sciatica. 2.5 hours just
There's
sitting there.
nothing wrong with him.
Wait a minute. The reason actually that I would say that is imprudent, it's not even the unethical idea that he would be faking injury in order to just lie and collect money and load manage. The reason that it's not wise is Luka will take that team and go 17 for 27 without him out there for the rest of the season. Like that not having to share usage rate with LeBron James is the best Luka that there is. Like if he doesn't have to share the ball with anybody, he will go 17 for 27 in every game he plays the rest of the season.
But they need to win. Like, if they're losing, who cares?
By the way, how long before they go Full Metal Jacket on DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah.
Right, they're putting bars of soap in socks.
He stinks.
I was like, this is
Dominating.
day one?
Like, Dan, that team minus LeBron, like, that team's not that good.
Playing team.
There was, you want to call LeBron a liar. The New York Post had an article that was interesting that might lend credence to this. There was a Laker group chat that had all the Lakers players in it. Anthony Davis was on that team. Anthony Davis was traded from that team and announced it to the group chat. Now, what we know about this trade and what we assume is that LeBron knew this was coming.
Do you have Anthony Davis's actual words from the group chat?
Yeah, in the group chat. Well, I'm not going to say all the words. Did these guys just trade me?
You said these guys?
You didn't say guys.
Oh.
And LeBron, WTF?
Okay.
After Anthony Davis left the group chat.
Caught him off guard.
Wait, he said that after he left the chat?
The way that I understood the article was, did these guys just trade me? Anthony Davis leaves group chat. LeBron James, WTF, in front of all his teammates.
It's gotta be hard to be a phony all the time. It does. It has to be hard.
Greg?
What would be LeBron's incentive for faking an injury? So late in his career,
Getting paid for
where
not
you
working?
have to figure every game he plays is a gift. Why would he fake an injury?
Give me more money. Give me a multi-year contract.
He doesn't view it the same way Joe Flacco does.
You think my time's up right now? All right, let's see how you do without me.
That's the incentive. Getting paid the same amount of money to not play and prove a point.
Well, I don't even think it's to not play. I think it's to prove the point.
Yeah.
It's about you need me. Oh, you don't think you need me? Watch this.
I'm not the number one option anymore. I'm not the guy you should come to with all the decision-making questions. Okay, let's see how you do without me.
But take into account what we just said about how we assumed LeBron James was behind the scenes, understanding that Rich Paul's client, Anthony Davis, was going to get moved. That establishes some sort of buy-in that we're getting away from Anthony Davis and we're bringing in Luka. Now, I'm not putting it past LeBron to be like all about that move, and then once it happens, to use it as a point of resentment for the Lakers. Is that what we're alleging? Because they don't mesh together. Him behind the scenes forcing Anthony Davis out and bringing Luka in to help him win a championship, and then being upset when Luka arrives to the team, being a younger superstar, being the very clear and obvious face of the franchise going forward. How does this mesh?
Seems like, very familiar to the story from your own Weitzman of him being very pro Russell Westbrook out loud, and behind the scenes kind of like, get him out of here, get me Kyrie Irving.
You saw what I was doing. I was asking the question for the audience, but I know what he's doing. He's playing Boshage.
The thing that we're not talking about from last night and talking about everything from basketball last night is that it is in game one interesting to watch Golden State when Jimmy Butler wants to go get 16 free throws, makes all 16 free throws, says after the game that he's bet Steph Curry that he's going to shoot better from the line this year than Steph Curry. Why are you waving him off, Tony?
Game one. Talk about sciatica. That guy's back's out in like 2 weeks.
Right now, though, Jimmy Butler's in the MVP conversation.
Not as high as Luka, though. Don't even dare. You agree or you don't agree?
I don't agree. He's got to be in the conversation.
He's in the conversation. He's not number one, though. Şengün. Şengün ahead of Jimmy Butler.
The Gooner.
I'm back in basketball this season.
He is an all-star.
That
in the
guy
making.
is good.
That guy's great.
MVP race right now, tight.
Man, you know about that Şengün?
Not that tight.
The Rockets are getting rewarded for tanking.
Team needs a point guard.
The Rockets
Good take from you.
They have so many young players from just dumping
Everybody's
games.
6'11". The entire team is 6'11". Just got 6'11" guys running around all over the place.
Can you believe it, folks? We're already halfway through the football season. For many, it's been a frustrating football season, especially those who are fans of the pro team down here. But for others, you have that away trip that was really special. You celebrated, you commiserated, and hopefully you did it all with Miller Lite. That's right, because Miller time makes football time a special time. Game days, they just hit different with a Miller Lite in your hand. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to fantasy heartbreaks, it's the beer that is there for every moment. 50 years of great taste, simple ingredients, and that iconic golden color you can spot from across the room. And here's the kicker, folks. It's just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, the original light beer since 1975, and still hitting different 5 decades later. So whatever your game day experience looks like, remember, Miller time is always a good time. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that sells beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
We'll get to Juju Gotti and the polls in a second, but we have not promoted the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody, the illustrious podcast of one Greg Cody.
Thank you.
It's why he's checked out for the last 90 minutes in silent protest that we have not promoted his podcast. What is on the latest episode of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody? And are you just going to ask your son the way you always do? Hey, what'd we do, kid, on the last episode?
No, we only come out once a week. You know, we don't come out like 9 times a day like some people. We come out once a week, so our podcast is the same as it was.
At me?
Same as it was Monday when I was in. We have a Billy Gill tribute. We have the PFPI expose, which include that purloined illegal recording of me.
Where you say,
I need your support.
And then I sound like a U.S. senator.
I need your support.
This is LBJ.
that's what you
Talk
sound
about Vietnam.
like. You sound hammered.
I need
What?
your support.
It really does sound like audio from Calvin Coolidge's age.
Coming out of the transistor radio.
It's on the back of a train. They're punching tickets on the back of the train, and Cody's just doing a stump speech on the caboose.
I need your support.
It's a wiretap at the Watergate Hotel.
That's true. It does sound like an old-timey recording.
I need your support.
Not a big deal in retrospect. Totally commonplace. Bit of a hoax.
It's a tiny town in a western city that's got saloon doors, and the train just pulled up with its top. It's like the fourth candidate in the region.
Got the red.
I need your support.
It's got the red, white, and blue banners on the back of the caboose.
Whoever's saying it has a giant ribbon on their lapel.
Top hat.
That's right. You can hear the whole recording, purloined recording on my latest episode.
And I love how my dad's like, you should hear my wife, what she says. It's like, no.
It's funny.
You
It's
go
so
for the
her.
drunk Greg.
It's
The drunk
so
Greg
her.
is the good stuff.
Okay.
What is that red, white, and blue stuff called on the back of a truck? Is that bunting?
Bunting.
So it's just okay. So that's on the back of the truck.
Yeah, how weird
on
is
the
it
back
in
of the
baseball
train.
opening days? Like, look at the bunting. Which type?
I need your support.
Again, if you're not familiar with the context for that sound, it's not a train and it's not a stump speech in the 1920s. It's a drunken Greg calling his wife.
Calling me, and I don't answer, and leaves me a voicemail thinking he's hung up. So he's talking to my mom,
And it's collusion.
and he's bitching about me.
I need your support.
Well, you know,
I'm going to put a vote out there so I can punish Christopher for this. And
TCB.
I need your support.
Damn right. Somebody's got to do it. I take my commissioner's job very seriously.
I know that. Why were you running out of breath there? I know that Juju covers basketball very well on Alley Oop with Trista and on all things Alley Oop for the Le Batard and Friends Network. Surely last night you were happy to see the league come back, Juju. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And matter of fact, this old thing right here?
This is great.
Great
Yes.
shirt.
It will be available soon on lebatardaf.com. Get you one of these the Kansas City Dan Was Wrong hoodies
I need
coming
one
to
of
a
those.
theater near you. Neither here nor there. You guys skipped one of the most beautiful things that happened last night. This guy was in witness protection. He had to stop a cup of coffee in Memphis, had another cup of Joe in Washington, D.C. But ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. Marcus Smart is back. Oh, my God. All the antics are back. He almost pulled Steph Curry's shoulder out of the socket once, said he didn't do anything. What did I do, ref? Not me. Vintage year for Marcus Smart incoming.
What was the best stuff from last night for you? Kevin Durant took the blame for the OKC loss. He missed a free throw. You rarely see that from him.
He got bailed out by the referee. He got bailed out from shame from the referees at the end last night.
We didn't talk about that at all.
Right, because he also called the timeout 100%. I mean, what you thought about that timeout?
Not only did he call it with it, as Shea Gilgeous-Alexander said, he said it verbally and he did the hand thing. He was going hard and I don't know whether the refs didn't see him.
No, they saw.
Or they saw him and they did him a solid
Yep.
of I'm not gonna call it.
Yep.
Right, we can't have the first game of the year end like this, even though it's a blunder by my boy. It can't end like this. And OKC, shame on you.
What?
You just let me know what you let me know last night. You don't understand Liberty, nor the Louisiana Purchase, nor the Boston Tea Party. You don't boo Kevin Durant when he comes back to OKC. OKC is cool because of Kevin Durant. One of the people who contributed to saving Earth, by the way, last summer with Steph Curry over in France. You don't boo that man. Get over yourself, OKC. Congratulations.
Juju, what about the theory that the game went to double overtime, not because they wanted to do Kevin Durant a solid, but because NBC needed to sell more Peacock subscriptions?
Yeah, that was a good one because I found myself in that exact scenario. I'm like, dang, I can't, because I got a 3-screen set up currently over here. So I was like, I can't not get tip-off. Log into Peacock. Oh, dang, I'm not logged in. Purchase. Okay,
What's
I'll
my
do it
password?
anyway. Right. I did that. I also think, sidebar, the hockey had a perfect night as well, Brad Marchand, because that was on screen number 2 last night. Brother, that emotional send-off that they gave him in the beginning of the game, for them to have that followed by an instant goal from Florida, and then followed by my boy Marchand punching somebody in the kidneys like 2 minutes later, like full force. That gave you every spectrum of the range of emotion the Panthers gave you last night. Hats off to them for doing it right as well.
Before we get to the polls, did you have any thoughts on Tom Izzo, old-timey dinosaur? He's upset that G-Leaguers are being allowed into the NCAA, just making it all more and more professional.
Yes, sir. He says that I'm going to get myself in trouble, but I talk to people and about how kids change. Kids aren't the problem. We're the problem, Izzo told Reporters Tuesday. This was sprung on us again yesterday, where a guy can be in the league for 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden he's eligible. Most people do nothing about it. He's not excited about it, yada, yada, yada. I mean, he's upset. And I don't think he's necessarily too wrong about that, because you give people the G League experience, then let them come back to people who fresh out of high school, bit of an advantage.
Slightly. I would say slightly. To be trained and disciplined for 3 years in the professional ranks of the G League, and then all of a sudden you're playing some pimple-nosed freshman who hasn't played but 6 minutes of high school basketball. Not exactly fair.
Yes, sir. Also, too, Chef's Kiss, when you said earlier, what would the team look like if they quit on Tua? I was like, oh, there he is. Rare form. You was back when you said that one. You put it on Diana Taurasi. I mean, not Diana Taurasi.
Is that a fine?
Ron Borges?
You put it on her, though. Yeah, you put it on her.
Hey, yo.
My bad.
What's going on here? What are you doing?
Also, salute. It was a quick change of subject. Salute to the hockey as well. They did it right for messing up the clock at the end of the game.
3:05.
Because I had no way of knowing, so I had to unmute that one and put hockey on the number 1 screen just so I could see when the game was actually over.
It was like soccer. We'll just trust that the referee is
no
going to tell us
time
when the
up
game's
there,
over.
and the announcers are like 27, 26.
Before it was 3:05, it was 2 minutes and 65 seconds at first. I was on there. My brain broke.
I just realized, Zaz, you're absolutely right. In soccer, we don't know. We just wait for the ref to call it, and I've never thought twice about it.
I believe him.
And then hockey, you tell me in hockey, I'm like, no, how could you not know the count?
It is a fairly ridiculous thing that hockey, only one person running, or I'm sorry, soccer, one person or a couple of people running around know how much time is left in the game.
You get to have the benefit of watching the minute count when you're watching a soccer broadcast on television. But when you're at the stadium, they purposely do not reveal that. You're guessing with them because they don't want people jumping all over the officials.
That is
So all they do,
bullshit.
all they do is just start whistling.
Yeah, but the people naturally time it on their own phones and end up whistling. It doesn't really help, but that, for whatever reason, well, I guess I outlined one, but they choose to not show the people in attendance that fact.
At LeBatard Show on the polls, what do you have for us, Juju?
Bigger star in Boston, Brad Marchand or Ray Bork? 51% of the audience says Ray Bork.
Oh,
Wow.
That is bullshit. Sorry, pardon my tongue.
It's okay. Is there way too much time between the end of the 4:00 game and Sunday night football? 75% of the audience says yes, it is.
No way. You watch Football Night in America,
Need to
right?
get
In that
my-
nice little thing. You get Jason Garrett all of a sudden. It's like,
Get my shit
he's
together.
lightning. Left turns.
I only think of Tony when I see Jason Garrett now moving forward. And
My guy.
Every time I see him, I'm like, look at my boy. Have you ever bought a flight and ended up on a bus? 91% of the audience says no, they have not.
It's ridiculous. It's called American Airlines.
You didn't even tell us the best part of the story, which is they took you to another airplane gate in the bus.
Yeah.
Went from terminal to terminal.
They were
Just
trying to
dropped you off
trick
in the
you into
front.
thinking you were in a plane.
It's crazy.
The bus should have big
La-
wings.
Last poll is Jeremy Taché the Chris Winningham of Pablo Torres.
That's wrong.
89% of the audience says yes, he is, and those are your polls.
LeBatardAF.com. Those are going to be big sellers there for Juju. Also, check out the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg
With-
Cody.
Thank you.
I
And
need your support.
and you've yeah, just end it there.